and Unearthed and Severin films. Oh, Jesus Christ! Well, I haven't done one of these in a while, even though I said these were to be more simple and to come out more often. And by the way, my cat is way less shy than last time that we spoke, so if you see her or hear her running around, I apologize. She's not as shy, let's just say that. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that fascinates me as a film collector, as a physical media collector. I think whatever you collect, if you're into physical media, we all have those films or those releases that are very sentimental to us, that even though some way better versions are out, we keep for ourselves in our collection. And today I'll present those to you from my perspective, and in the comments let me know if you are like me, have those releases that you wouldn't get rid of just for, sentimental value. And I wanted to discuss, first of all, the release that got me really into collecting physical media, and that is Evil Dead 2, the old-ass Anchor Bay release, which was probably, I assume so, the first copy of this on DVD, and I still have the price tag, and if you can see the store, it's music for less. So the story behind this is I was very young and I was really into collecting video games, but I also liked movies, and I was starting to get into more horror films, and I wanted to work through the years and the decades. So how I got this film is it's pretty easy. I was around 12, 13 I think, and I went to Vegas with my parents and my brother. And if you know about Vegas, you know that there's not a lot of activities for 12 to 13 year old boys, other than the guys giving out cards for escorts, which Vegas is fucking weird, but whatever. So I didn't really have much to do, me and my brother. We did the typical, we went to the arcades, we went to the magic shows, music shows, and one day we drove into the desert, a bit outside of Las Vegas, and we went to this store. Now my parents allocated me a budget of $20, which is equivalent to about 50 Canadian, even at that time. So I was pretty excited. So I browsed through their movie sections and I found this for $10 and a copy of the original King Kong, which I still do, but this one kind of made me the horror fan that I am today, so I'm less emotional, sentimental about King Kong than I am Evil Dead 2. And this really kickstarted this entire thing, and I really love the film, and I loved the physical release, because I could watch the copious amounts of special features, which were amazing at the time. So I really did fall in love with the horror genre with purchasing this film, and especially this DVD really got me into collecting physical media. Yes, I had DVDs, but there were standard movies. This is what kickstarted the collecting of horror films. So not only is it an amazing film, this really kickstarted everything, and I owe my addiction and my debt to this. The other movie that means a lot to me, and that Evil Dead, obviously I've upgraded it many times. Not really, I only have a German edition that's like the Book of the Dead, so, but I've upgraded this. This one I still haven't upgraded. I don't know why, it's one of my favorite exploitation films, but this again is another that's very important to me. I Spit on Your Grave. Now, I started with Evil Dead and the 80s, 70s stuff, but the standard American not big budget, but notorious horror films from, 70s and 80s. Then I started to watch the Cinema Snob on YouTube, and he really got me into, even though I don't like him now, he really got me into exploitation films, which led to me liking extreme cinema. So I knew about I Spit on Your Grave. I was too afraid to watch it just in case my parents would walk in, because I knew of the notorious reputation this film had. So what I and so I waited. I didn't buy it. I stayed still around the 80s. Then Christmas came and my brother got me this, which again, this is an Anchor Bay release, but one of the newer ones. So he got me this DVD, and I knew about this film already. And let's just say that I kept the story to myself and my brother because we watched it together when my parents weren't home, obviously. And this, like, before watching this, I had seen the remake of Last House on the Left, but this really, like, got me into the 70s exploitation. And again, this has very much sentimental value, not only because it's one of my favorite exploitation film and it's what got me into it, but because it was a Christmas gift from my brother. So from then, my brother has basically only been buying me movies for Christmas and for my birthday, but usually it's movies that I ask for. This was a very cool surprise from him, and he didn't know what he was buying either, but again, I keep this around for sentimental value also, because I don't have a Blu-ray of this film, which I don't know why. I should probably get one. The last little thing I wanted to talk about is, alright, I had my DVDs, I had my DVD collection, but it was still, and I only collected DVDs at first because they were cheaper and I could find them used for way cheaper. I need to remind you, I was 14, 15, 16. I didn't really have a big budget to spend. But then I started working and I was able to afford newer films and especially Blu-rays. And I wanted to talk about the movie and the edition that got me into collecting Blu-rays, especially boutique Blu-rays. Which again, this kickstarted the addiction, and it's of course the Scream Factory Collector's Edition of The Burning. Now again, just like the other two films, not only is this film incredible, this release is amazing. And this is how I discovered boutique labels and how releases could be fucking awesome. So you have commissioned art, the original poster, and this again is one of my favorite 80s slasher, so that helped to get me into this. But this is how I discovered boutique labels, and after that I was sold to the Scream Factory Mafia, and I couldn't stop getting more and more until recently. Now they just come out with like 90s fucking shitty movies, but back in the day they were pretty cool. So the Scream Factory obviously led me to Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, and this is just kickstarted. So I don't have a reason to upgrade this one because it's on Blu-ray and there hasn't really been any other versions, but this one is still pretty sentimental to me because it's what kickstarted my boutique label addiction. And that this movie and the fact that it made me discover labels made me discover movies I never thought I would ever see in my life, and now I'm obsessed with dark fucking obscure ass movies that like basically only Vinegar Syndrome and Unearthed and Severin films. Oh Jesus Christ. Hi. Hi. How are you? You decided to scare me? Yeah? You want to talk about movies? What did we watch together yesterday? We watched Sister of Ursula, which she's way too young to watch this. So apparently little Africa here decided that this is the end of the video. So so this kickstarted my obsession. So what are your sentimental and first DVDs, I guess? What's your first DVD that really got you into this shit? And please comment on this. And you're ruining the microphone. What are you doing?